My mom used to make $11,000 a year. She was a barista. She didn't have a trust fund. She didn't have help. She didn't have a plan. Not yet. She had a coffee shop and a notebook. And we've been to 20 countries across 5 continents together, every single trip on a school break. This is the story of how that happened. The money part, the decisions, the things she figured out on $11,000 a year that most people never figure out at all. I'm Vienna, like the city in Austria, not the sausage, and this is Wandering Vienna. I share how my mom and I travel the world and the whole finance side of actually getting there on a single mom's regular income. And stay to the end of this video. I'm going to show you the exact moment everything changed for my mom and the number that proves starting early is everything. My mom was making about $11,000 a year when she started paying attention. Not $11,000 after taxes, but total. She was working at a coffee shop. Early mornings, long shifts. She wasn't unhappy, but she was watching money leave and not knowing where it went. So she started writing it down. Every single thing she spent money on, for 1 month, not to judge herself, just to see, and what she saw surprised her. And the money wasn't disappearing into big things, it was disappearing into small things she couldn't even remember buying. A coffee here, a thing she didn't need there, subscriptions she'd forgotten about. She called it plugging the holes in her pockets, and she started plugging them. Not because she had a plan yet, just because she could see the leaks. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. And then something happened that made it impossible to go back. I was 4 years old, and I still think about it. My mom and I were at a grocery store parking lot. There was a man sitting outside. He was homeless, and my mom walked over and started talking to him. She asked him about his day, where he's from, what he needed. And then she asked him something that I've never forgotten about. She asked him how he found money to eat. He said, I find about $2 a day, sometimes a little more. $2 a day. That's about $60 a month. My mom didn't say anything right away, but I could see her thinking. She told me later what that moment did to her. She said, if he can find $2 a day with nothing, then I have no excuse for not finding my margin. That word, margin, the gap between what you earn and what you spend, that's where everything lives. Travel, investing, freedom, all of it. It all comes from the margin. And if you think you don't have one, you haven't looked closely enough. That conversation changed how she thought about money and what she decided to do next. Most people would never do. My mom made 2 decisions around the same time. The first one was about the job. She left the coffee shop and took an entry-level processing role at a Fortune 500 company. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't management, it was a foot in the door, and a company that paid her to train her from the inside. She said no to the bigger title and yes to the bigger runway. She stayed quiet, did the work, built the skills. In about 4 years, she went from entry level to a completely different income. Not from a raise, from growth. The second decision was about the money. She decided the 35% was going to go into an index fund every single month. Not when it felt right, every month. And she decided something else too. She would never lifestyle inflate. When the income went up, the investing went up. The lifestyle stayed the same. Most people do the opposite. They earn more, they spend more. She earned more, she invested more. That's a quiet decision. Nobody sees it. Nobody congratulates you for it, but compound interest doesn't care if anyone is watching. And while all of that was happening quietly, something else was building. Something that was about to take us to the other side of the world. The first trip was Dublin, Ireland. My mom didn't get a raise to afford it. She didn't take out a loan. She didn't put it on a credit card. She plugged the holes, and the money was already there. She had a system she had been building for years. A list of countries she wanted to visit, 10 of them. Every week, about 15 minutes, she checked flight prices to all 10. Not when she was planning a trip. Every week, all year, when a school break opened up, she booked the lowest price on that list. And that's how Dublin happened. Not because it was the dream destination, because the price was right and the break was there. And I remember getting off the plane. I saw the cars driving on the left side of the road, and my brain was like, well, that's weird. It wasn't wrong, it was just different. And that difference is what started everything. We've been to 20 countries since then, every single one on a school break. I grew up watching all of this happen, and when I turned 14, and now I'm 15, I started. I've been watching my mom do this for my whole life. The notebook, the receipts, the weekly flight check, the 35%, the index fund, the emergency fund she built to $25,000. I didn't learn this in school, I learned it by watching. So when I turned 14, I started. $50 a month, an S&P 500 index fund. Same thing my mom invests in, not because someone told me to, because I've seen what time does to money. At 10.5%, the historical average of the S&P 500, $50 a month starting at 14 becomes something most people my age can't picture. So $50 a month starting at age 14 can equal almost $2 million by age 70. $50 a month starting at age 18 will become $1.3 million by age 70. The gap between those 4 years is $681,109, and the total extra invested at 14 is $2,400. That $2,400 did $681,109 of extra work. I'm not sharing that to impress you, I'm sharing it because nobody showed me this at 14. Nobody shows most kids this at 14. And I think that's wrong. The earlier you start, the less it costs. The less it costs, the more it builds. That's it. That's the whole thing. And that's really what this channel is. Not just the travel, not just the numbers, the whole thing. From the coffee shop to where we are now. My mom is not retired. She's not done. She's built a $25,000 emergency fund on a single income. She invested 35% of her income every month for years. She traveled to 20 countries with her daughter, and she's done all of it without going into debt for any of it. That's not luck, that's a notebook, a decision, and a system. The travel didn't happen because she was rich, it happened because she could see where the money was going, and she stopped letting it go there. Plugging the holes created the margin. The margin funded the Wander Window. The Wander Window found Dublin. Dublin started everything. I'm 15, I've been to 20 countries, I've been investing for a year, and I didn't grow up rich. I grew up watching someone pay attention, and that's what this channel is. Everything she figured out and everything I'm learning alongside her. I'm sharing all of it here. I'm 15, I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I share is what I watched my mom build. 20 countries, 5 continents, a regular income, no debt. I lived it and now I'm sharing it. Comment below if this just changed how you see things. Subscribe to Wandering Vienna if you haven't yet. Hit the like button. It tells the algorithm you liked this content. I post content like this every single week and I don't want you to miss what's coming. Share this with a friend who you think needs to hear it. I'm Vienna. This is Wandering Vienna. And make sure to come back because there's always more to explore. Bye!